All right. So again, the IXL. Please make sure you're taking care of that. All right. For those of you guys who finished, I'll put your grade in. For those of you guys who not finished, I'll probably put a bad grade in until Monday. All right. So you have this weekend. Before I forget, also, guys, this race, the Santa, I'm not 100% sure exactly what's going on. All right. It's a Santa run. It's to raise money for the school. It would be nice if some of you were able to go, for those of you guys who are runners, and go and sign up. All right. I'm not specifically talking about my homeroom, but that's just everybody. It seems like every year the 8th grade is a little weak in the area of doing those types of things for the school. So just consider going and signing up. There are activities that we can do if we raise a certain amount of money. All right. Again, I don't really care about the activities. I just think it's for the support of the school. All right. So again, if you would try to look into that and try to sign up, and it's just to raise money for the school. All right. So please look into that. All right. Now let's try to get this done. All right. Let's try to get it done before we leave, so you don't have really any homework except to finish the IXL if you haven't done that. All right. Again, determine whether the triangles are similar using AA. What is AA? Yes, angle similarity. All right. So what does that mean? You should know that because you did the IXL. What does that mean?
If two angles in a triangle are
That is not true. They're what? No, say it again.
similar.
Yeah, they're similar. All right, that's the difference between congruent and similar. All right, in similar triangles, the angles are all congruent, but the sides are what? Proportional. All right, that's what you know. So to discover if triangles are similar, all you have to know is that two angles of one triangle are congruent to two angles of another triangle. Now, they really could call it angle similarity, but we have a theorem that says if two angles are congruent to two angles, then the third angle is congruent. All right, so that's why they only use two angles. And that really only applies to what? That only applies to triangles. All right, if you have a quadrilateral or a pentagon or something along those lines, all angles have to be congruent. All right, so in this case, can we determine if, number one, are those two triangles similar? Yeah, of course, right? And we would say, of course, because they're parallel lines. And if they are parallel lines, the alternate interior angles are congruent. And just to make sure you can see it, these two angles here are called the what? Vertical. But we could also say this is alternate interior. Exactly. So that one is a big yes. All right, that's definitely yes. All right, number two. All right, yes, because the third angle for ABC would be what? 41. And so now we have angle. All right, so yes, that's angle similarity. That's how we use it. All right, is it hot in here? Yeah, all right, I'll tell them to turn the air. I'll tell them to look at the air. What about number three? Definitely what? Come on, guys. Why jump? All right, go ahead and figure it out. What is the third angle over here? Angle A would be what? You don't need a calculator for that. Angle A would be what? You're not doing 90 plus 38.
52.
Right, you're just doing these. A and C have to add up to 90. So 90 minus 38 should be 52. So is it a yes or no? No. All right, because 52 is not here. All right. Number four. Yes or no? Yeah, because two angles. Automatically, it has to be similar. All right, angle similarity. All right, let's look at 5. In the figure, AB intersects DE at point C. which additional information would be enough to prove that the triangles are similar? And again, remember that symbol is symbol for what? Similar. That's it. All right? So, if I said, well, what angle do we know is congruent already?
ACB and ECB.
Yeah, the vertical angles, right? So everybody, all right, that's good. So can I say that DAC is congruent to ECB? That would be dumb. Okay, no. Do we know anything about sides yet? No. Would it help to know that AD was parallel to EB? Yeah, because then that would create alternate interior angles. So D or C definitely. And would it be helpful if I knew CBE was a right angle? Even if it was a right angle, let's go ahead and call it a right angle. Do we know the other one's right? No, it doesn't say anything about that. All right. So the correct answer had to be C. All right. All right. Now, I think part of the IXL was writing the similarity statement. All right. So we know these are similar, right? So now what I want to do is I like to write them in alphabetical order. It's not really that big a deal. But we would say triangle XYZ is similar to triangle. Now X corresponds to what? J. Y corresponds to
Okay.
K. And Z corresponds to what? Yeah. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. All right. And then we want to find X, Z. All right. So we would say what? We just need to set up a quick proportion. What would we say? Well, I would say 4 over 5 is a possibility, right? So I have 4 over 5. Now, 4 corresponds to JK. Does everybody see that? So now I look over here. JK would correspond to what?
XY.
XY. That's why it's important to use the similarity statement, not triangles. Because sometimes the triangles can be a little deceiving. Does everybody agree with that? Or in this case, you could say JK is between 1 tick mark and the 49 degrees. 1 tick mark and the 49 degrees. So JK corresponds to 5, right? And then if you look at XZ, XZ corresponds to JL. And JL is what? Oh, hold on a second. 4 over 5. So KJ corresponds to XY. And then JL corresponds to XZ, which is Y. Did I agree with that? Sorry, I kind of fumbled a little bit there. Is everybody okay with that? And now it's just a matter of what? Cross, multiply, divide. So you should be able to look at that and just say Y is equal to 25 over what? 4. Did everybody see that? Cross, multiply, divide. 5 times 5 divided by 4. Any issues going on? I agree, it's easy. All right. Now, for number 7, these are the ones that cause problems because they're overlapping. All right. So we're going to start with RTS. Triangle RTS is similar to what? Say it. What? QVS. That is correct. All right. That was pretty easy, right? Now I can look at X and say it's obviously 20. Can I look at that and say that's obviously 20? Right? How do I know that? Because sometimes it's easier to look here and here, right? But to me, in this case, instead of doing the 5 and the 3, it was easier for me to look at the 3 and the what? 12. So the bottom part of the triangle is 4 times the side, right? Everybody see that? All right, remember now, this is what I'm talking about. We're starting a new section, starting a new chapter. Some of you guys want to do better, so I'm asking, speak up as soon as you need help. What? Okay, so I'm looking at 3 and 12, right? So what I'm telling you is that the bottom is 4 times the side,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
right? So if I look at the side over here as 5, that would have to be 4 times that. You with me? Now, if you can't see that, is that a big deal? No, because you just set up the what? Set up the proportion, and it'll work. Is there one way to set up the proportion, or is there a lot of ways? There's a lot of ways to set up the proportion. A lot. All right? So if you get the answer, do you have to set it up like I did? No, you don't. You just have to get the right answer. All right? So that was kind of easy. All right, so now let's look at 8. A cell phone tower casts a 100-foot shadow at the same time a 4-foot 6-inch post near the tower casts a 3-foot 4-inch. Now the problem here is we have feet and inches, right? So let's not do that. All right. So 4 foot 6 would be what? Yeah, you could do 54 inches, or you could just say it's 4.5 feet. Now the reason why I prefer feet is because this 100 feet, you know what I mean? I don't care, because you could easily change 100 feet to 100 times 12, and that'd be the number of inches. All right, so that's perfectly fine. But since we're dealing with feet, and plus I want to help you and make sure you understand the fractions. All right, so a cell tower has a 100-foot shadow, and a post is 4 feet 6 inches. So the height of the post is 4.5 feet, and the shadow would be what? Do not say 3.4. Well, yeah, but I don't even like that. It's what? Come on, man. 4/12. 4/12. Yes. 3 1/3. So, now, the reason why I don't like 3.3 is because we'd have to put 3.3 repeating, right? So, if we're setting something up, it would just be easier to say this was 3 1/3 foot. So, make agree with that? Now, it might be easier to just say 10/3, but we don't know until we set the other part up. All right. So now this is the height, and this is the what? Shadow. Right. So this is equal to here. The 100-foot goes where? Yeah. On the top or the bottom? Why does it go on the bottom?
Shadow.
The shadow goes on the bottom. 100 feet down here. And then we're trying to find the actual height. Now, 100 times 4.5 is what? 450, and now we're dividing it by 3 1/3, right? But let's just go ahead without a calculator. 450, and 3 1/3 is the same as 10/3, right? So it's 450 times 3/10, which is 100, what is that? 35. 135. Right? 45 divided by 10, cross out the zeros. 45 times 3 is 45. 90, I just counted by 45s. 90 plus 45, 135. Everybody okay with that? It doesn't matter anyway, right? You have lots of ways to solve that. All right, does anybody have any questions? So the cell tower is about 135 what? About 135 feet. Everybody good? All right, so you guys, I'm going to leave 9, 10, 11. You guys answer those real quick while I call from 68. 9, 10, 11. All right, see if you can do it. All right. So what are we thinking here? What are we thinking? It says determine whether the triangles are similar. All right, is okay. So again, personally, A, C, E. We're looking at the big triangle. All right, and then B, C, D. So I'm going to highlight that one. B. Oh, come on, that one's really easy. Is that a yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, because what angle does it share? No, no, it doesn't share 57. Shares what? What angle is it? What angle? C. Come on, guys, that's important now. All right, listen to what I'm saying. I didn't say what angles are congruent. I said what angle is shared. I'm trying to tell you that on SATs and ACTs, these are the questions they put on there, overlapping triangles, because it's harder to see them. Do we agree? So when I say what angle is shared by both triangles, everybody should be able to say it's angle what? C. All right. Now if I say what other angle is congruent, you could say CBD and CAE. Question. Do I agree with that? All right, so that one is true. All right, what about number 10? Definitely a what? A big fat what? No. No, the reason why is because we don't know if BC is what? Parallel to DF. Do we agree? All right, it has to be parallel. It has to be parallel. And of course, what about 11? Yes, two angles are congruent, so it's automatically similar. All right, I'm telling you, that's easy. 12, 13, 14. Determine whether triangles are similar. Obviously, number 12 is a big what? Yes. All right, and you can say yes confidently. All right, because you would say what angles are congruent. J is congruent to J. Thank you. That's perfect. That's one. Now what else? K, L, M. Thank you. Is congruent to what? JKP. And those are what type of angles? Corresponding. Thank you. Sometimes you use alternate interior. Sometimes you use what? Corresponding. All right. Come on, guys. A review, right? Anybody have any questions with that? I keep saying over and over, I'm trying to give you, some of you guys are not doing the way you want to do, is to speak up, get involved, ask me questions. All right? Here we go. So now I'm on angle 13. Yes or no? Someone tell me yes or no.
No.
Because the only angle we know is, everybody agree with that? So that's definitely a no. So I have 47 and 47, right? So all I have to do is figure out what this angle is. And that angle should be what? 68. All right? Now, 9 plus 7 is what?
15.
So can it end in an 8? No. Does everybody see that? All right? You don't have to actually do the math if you understand the numbers. Does everybody agree? All right, so that definitely is a what? Definitely is a no. All right, now you have to identify similar triangles. So we're going to write the similarity statement. So for 16, I want to write it in alphabetical order, so let's do CDE. Triangle CDE is similar to, all right, so C corresponds to what? F. D corresponds to G, and E corresponds to E, and that would be the vertical angle, correct? All right, so now I like to do side to side, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and say 15 over 10 is equal to, now CD corresponds to what? FG, so that's what? 6 over, now 10 is DE, so DE has to be to GE, and GE is what we're looking for, X. Can you set it up differently? Yes. All right. if you want to make an A on your test, that's how I recommend you do it. Now, when you're doing the homework problems, you can think you know and just set it up and see if it's right. I don't care. All right? But if you want to be for sure, this is what I'm saying. That's how you should do it. Use the similarity statement. Don't always just look at the triangle. What? You could do, I don't see. Yeah, of course. Right? That's what I was trying to tell you. There's many ways to set it up. Many ways. All right? You can do large to small, large to small. All right? You can do large over large and small over small. All right? So cross multiply 60 divided by 15, x equals 4. Come on, guys. I think that's easy. All right? And no joke. I'm not kidding. My 6th graders are doing this. This is what we're doing in pre-algebra. All right? They don't know vertical angles and alternate interior angles. They don't know that yet. All right? But they are setting the proportions up. All right? And cross multiplying and dividing. So here we go. Now, are these similar? Yes. All right? Angle, angle, similarity. All right? Let's just do angle, angle, similarity. Because I think this is kind of obvious. All right? Someone tell me now the proportion. Go ahead. Triangle QRS. That's exactly correct. All right. QPS is similar to QRS. Now, I want the proportion. I'm going to set up the proportion. Charlotte, let's go. Exactly. Easy. There's lots of ways to do it. All right. Cross multiply, divide. Somebody tell me. I want to know the answer. Somebody said 16. I don't think it's 16. I got 15, guys. Is that right? 15? Oh, come on now. Look, do you think I multiplied 20 times 12 and divided by 16? No chance that I do that. No, I didn't do that. I just said what? 20 over 16 is the same as what? 5 over, right. 4 times 3 is 12. So x has to be 15. Does everybody see how we can do that? Right? If you have your calculator, cross multiply, divide, I don't care, but there's usually a reducing that's possible that makes it easy. Alright? Alright, so here we go. Let's set up 18 now. Alright, now, 18 is the good one. And why do I say 18 is the good one? Because the triangle is what? Rotated. Right? So you have to be real careful with the way you set this up. Alright? So, let's not write the similarity statement. Alright? What I want to do is I want to see if we can find the proportion. Alright? Now, automatically, I'm just going to write what? This over this. Alright, that's what I want you to do. Alright, could I have written 40 over 32? Yes. Alright, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to do 3x minus 6 over x plus 6. Now, I really want you to listen now on this part, please. Alright, this is how I think it's best. This is between 1 tick mark and no tick mark. Do you see that? So here is 1 tick mark, and here is no tick mark up here, right? Does everybody agree with that? Even though this right here is the what? I will go ahead and put that in there. Alright? So that's not as hard as I thought it was. So it's just what? 40 over 32. Now, would I do 32 times 3x minus 6?
No.
Not even close. What would I do to 40 over 32? Yeah, I would just go ahead and divide by 8. So that's 5 over 4. Now the problem's much easier. Still kind of annoying, but because we're talented, we're going to go ahead and distribute 12x minus 24 equals 5x plus 30. Does everybody agree with that? So what do I have? 7x equals 54, which is kind of annoying, right? So x is equal to what? Yeah, 54 over 7, right? Everybody agree? Now, what? I cross multiply. Come on now. You satisfied with that? Right? Because instead of doing 4 parentheses, I just distributed right off of that. We can do that. What? Okay, so this right here has 1 tick mark. Let me just show you. This angle corresponds to this angle because it had 1 tick mark. This has nothing. That has nothing. So that's why those two go together. You with me? This down here is a right angle, so it corresponds to that right angle. Right? Okay, so that's not the final answer because we have to do what? WZ. All right, so here we go, guys. Our daily lesson for fractions. So I have 3 times 50. No, don't write it down. 54 over 7 minus 6. All right. So obviously I have to multiply by 3. And I'm sure we can do 3 times 50. 3 times 4. 150 plus 12. So this is the same as 162 over 7. Now 6 is how many 7s? 42. Right? So it's minus 42 over 7, which is just what? 120 over 7. All right? So that is WZ. All right? And then UZ is just x plus 6. So 54 over 7 plus 6. 6 is, again, how many 7s? 42 plus 54. 96 over 7. All right? Please, everybody in here should be able to do that. If you can't do that, come on now. Raise your hand and let me explain it. All right? You've got to be good with numbers. Yes, ma'am.
So you just
I just got a common denominator. All right, so let's break it down because I did skip that step. So I'm simply adding 6. Do you agree? 6 over 1 times 7. Now I have the common denominator. So now that's 42. 42 plus 54. Right? 96. Good. All right, that's what I want everybody to do. All right, what's the homework? Yeah, I think I've done a good job. I think you can set the rest of those up. Now, does everybody understand the word problems down here, 22, 23, 24? It's just setting it up, right? Come on. Just setting up, changing it, maybe a fraction if it has inches and feet. Convert it to the fraction. All right, if you don't know how to do that, you can let me know. But I think we're good, right? All right, I think everybody should be able to finish that up. All right, so finish 19 through 24, and we have a whole 7 minutes. And then finish the IXL. Everybody agree? All right, let's go. Get to work. Get to work. Come on. I want you thinking ahead to the next test. All right? If you have any questions about each section, you're supposed to ask.